Thank you, everybody, for coming to the Aaron Torres Podcast YouTube page. If you could do me a quick favor, see that little subscribe button at the bottom of your screen? Go ahead, click that subscribe button. Really does help our channel grow, our audience grow, and I really do appreciate it more than you know. So click that subscribe button. Appreciate your support. Now, here's the video that you came here for. Switch gears, and how about this? I want to talk a little college hoops season, baby. That is right. College hoops is here. And as I've said over the last couple episodes, the season started on Monday. What I want to spend a few minutes doing here over the next couple minutes is really two things. One, I do want to react to some stuff from the opening night of college basketball season. And then I want to wrap with my preseason Final Four and national championship picks. I'll tell you this, I put the picks out on social media on Monday morning, already having a little bit of buyer's remorse on at least one team that I have in the Final Four. But let's get into it. Let's break it down. And let me start very quickly before we get into any individual team, just with, the rant that everybody who loves college basketball and covers college basketball has had over the last couple days. Let me say this. I'm a little bit disappointed with the leadership in college basketball that we essentially got no marquee games on opening night of college hoops. Now, as I'm recording here on late Monday night, USC is playing Kansas State. That is a marquee game. Credit to Andy Enfield and Jerome Tang. But everybody else across college basketball, like, what are we doing? You think about all the other sports, the buildup to opening Sunday of the NFL, or even that opening Thursday night. First weekend in college football, which is a 5-night affair, that Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday of Labor Day weekend. Opening day of Major League Baseball. We can criticize Major League Baseball for a lot, but they get opening day right. Banner raising in the NBA. Everybody else has figured out opening night, yet we had a college basketball opening night without a single matchup of ranked teams. Now, I understand about 2, 3, 4 years ago, the decision was made, play on a Monday, election day is on a Tuesday, and originally the plan, the reason this was done, the NCAA wanted to give all these athletes election day off so that they could go ahead and exercise their right to vote. This is a thing that happened. You can look it up. Well, what ended up happening was we did that for a year or two, but now we got games tomorrow. And so the idea, we set up opening night on Monday night so everybody could have off Tuesday. Well, people are playing tomorrow night, and so it's disappointing. I ultimately hope we get back to a point where we either get super marquee matchups to open the season, or why can't we go back to when the Champions Classic opened the season? Now, I don't think John Calipari liked it. Coach K, when he was around, I don't think he loved it either. But that was such a great stage for college hoops to open the season. Michigan State, Kansas, Duke, Kentucky, all on opening night. I do hope we get back, or I hope at the very least everybody in college basketball works to get some bigger games on opening night going forward. Good news is the big games really start this weekend. We got Arizona at Duke on Friday. That's the first, in my opinion, super signature game. Auburn, Baylor play Tuesday, play tomorrow, play tonight as you guys listen. But man, oh man, can we get a marquee game on opening night? I just think it hurts the sport. I don't think the casual fan that doesn't love college basketball or doesn't have a team that they love even realize that college basketball opens. So I don't want to be too negative. I want to get into some reactions, but I just want to say that, like, give me the 2 minutes. I'm disappointed. I'm frustrated, but you know what? There was also basketball on Monday night. So let's react to some of the things that I saw. And as I said, I only want to spend about 2, 3, 4 minutes on these teams. This is not going to be a 9-minute breakdown of a 30-point win from this team or that team or whatever. But let's dive in. I guess we'll start, and I'm not doing it because it's my alma mater, but UConn is the defending national champion. They returned to the court against Northern Arizona. It, like so many other games, was a complete blowout. But I'll tell you this. Liked what I saw from UConn. And it's funny, I heard from some friends over the last couple of weeks in Vegas, the gambling folks, the gambling people. And I have some gambling folks that are like, dude, UConn has as good of a chance as anybody that we can remember in a long time to repeat as national champion. And I'm a little biased. I get it. But I was also like, I don't really know. Well, you watch UConn. They are really, really good. Now, listen, I know the team. I know that they could repeat. I just think it's unlikely, but if you watch them on Monday night, they are awesome. Donovan Clingan is back. He's healthy. That's great news. Alex Karabin had a career-high 22 points. The thing that stood out about UConn on Monday, they have a forward named Samson Johnson, was a starter to open last season, got hurt, took about 6-8 weeks to come back and was never really the same, didn't really play a role in the title run as the season went on. Well, he's back. I had heard all offseason, like Dan Hurley really made it a priority to reintegrate him, basically not even reintegrate him, like make sure this kid does not transfer because he is going to be a difference maker for us. 11 points, 5 rebounds on opening night. UConn looks really, really, really good. As far as the repeating as national champion, listen, that it's a long way to march. But what I would say is, listen, the tournament is about guard play, but it's just about NBA talent, right? UConn wasn't the best team in the Big East last year. Marquette won the regular season. Marquette won the postseason, but UConn got to the NCAA tournament. They had 3 guys who were currently on opening night rosters: Jordan Hawkins with the Pelicans, Andre Jackson with the Bucks, and Adama Sanogo with the Bulls, and they just steamrolled everybody. Well, UConn's got probably another 3 or 4 pros on that roster with Klingon, Caravan, a freshman named Stephon Castle, and Samson Johnson, I think, has the chance to be an NBA player. UConn going to be really, really, really good. Let's stay with the theme of really good last year, and I wasn't really sure about him this year. You know who I think was the single most impressive team to me on Monday night relative to what I actually expected coming in? It was actually the Alabama Crimson Tide. Okay, so if you remember last year, Alabama, it was certainly a tumultuous season off the court. But on the court, Alabama wins the regular season in the SEC, the postseason in the SEC. But then they lose not only, how about this? They not only lost 4 of their top 5 scorers from a season ago, they also lost all 3 assistant coaches. They all got head coaching jobs. I believe I heard a stat. I could be wrong on this. It's only the second time ever that a team has lost all 3 assistant coaches in a given season. They opened with Morehead State. Okay. Morehead State, Preston Spradlin, their head coach, has actually been on this show before. Really good. They did lose their best player to injury right before the season. Let me give credit where it's due, though. Alabama has not missed a beat. They look really freaking good. They beat Morehead State 105-73, a 32-point win in that game. Thing that stood out, Alabama hasn't missed a beat. Spacing, ball movement, 3-point shooting. They finished the game hitting 10 of 23 from 3. Grant Nelson, I think this is important for Alabama. Grant Nelson, the big-time transfer from North Dakota State. If you go back to last year, he was not a 3-point shooter at North Dakota State. That's why he's not in the NBA. Remember, he declared for the NBA draft, decided to come back. Why do I bring it up? It is because Grant Nelson on opening night, he finished with 24 points, but also hit a pair of threes. That is an important thing, in my opinion, for Alabama. Alabama has to get 3-point shooting from its forwards. That is what the whole system is predicated on, right? You play 5-out basketball. You have to be able to hit 3-pointers. So far, so good with Alabama. The competition is obviously going to get tougher. Thought they looked really good. You know who else I thought looked really good? Credit where it's due. The Kentucky Wildcats. And listen, Calipari, he gets a lot of flack, and a lot of it is deserved. And I was very critical on this show, especially in the offseason, of his portal, recruiting, I guess, for lack of a better term. Didn't love what he did for most of the offseason. But listen, inside that program, they would tell people on the outside, the reason we're not so aggressive in the portal, we love our freshman class. So they open with a good New Mexico State team. Jason Hooten's a really good coach. He came from Sam Houston State. They have a bunch of high major transfers. Kentucky just steamrolled them. And not only did Kentucky steamroll them, here's the important part, is that Kentucky, remember, the last 2 years, they've had Oscar Tshiebwe, great low post player, incredible talent. But Oscar Tshiebwe, and we talked about this in the summer, really limited what they were able to do from a spacing, a ball movement perspective, okay? And so I bring it up because without Oscar Tshiebwe, they look awesome, okay? They did this in the summer on their summer trip to Canada. But those 3 freshman guards, DJ Wagner, Rob Dillingham, and Reed Sheppard, they can all get buckets. Reed Sheppard is a monster defensively. And in this game, those 3 combined for 42 points in this game. They were 5 total scores in double figures. Sorry, I'm tripping over my own words here. And let me say this about Kentucky too. Love the guard play, love the spacing, love the ball movement. And let me give credit where it's due. They have a freshman named Rob Dillingham. I was not a fan of him in high school. Small, skinny, very much a shot, chaser, like basically a one-on-one player. When they took a commitment from him, and then really as the class evolved, I said, I don't know how he's going to fit in with all these guys. And I said, if he's a 6th man, you're going to be fine. Well, I bring it up because he didn't play well over the summer. I give this kid so much credit, okay? So what I was told in high school, wasn't a worker. You want to know what I was told? This is kind of the craziest thing. I've never heard anyone say this before. They said he didn't really eat. He just kind of hung out, chilled, didn't work super hard, didn't eat. Like that was literally what they said. They said they need to get him in a college program and a college nutrition program because he did not eat at Overtime Elite. But he gets to Kentucky. He spent all off season in the weight room since that Canada trip. He's awesome. 17 points for him on Monday night. And I'll say this. DJ Wagner has been the more high-profile guard throughout this recruitment. Rob Dillingham right now has NBA athleticism and put on 20-plus pounds this summer and hasn't lost an ounce of athleticism. And so if you can continue that level of athleticism with the size that you have, I think he could be one of the breakout stars in college basketball. DJ Wagner, a higher profile recruit, Reed Shepherd, the hometown kid, his dad played at Kentucky. I think Rob Dillingham has a chance to be the best out of all of them. Now, the one thing with Kentucky, anybody who follows the program knows, they're currently without the services of not one, I sound like LeBron James, not two, but 3 7-footers as we speak. Aaron Bradshaw, Ugana Nyenso, Kingsley, all are both out with injuries. Zvonimir Ivisic, the 7'2" Croatian, has not yet been cleared by the NCAA. So they need to get some big guys back soon, because if they don't, they could be in a world of trouble. They play Kansas next Tuesday night, but credit where it is due. They looked awesome on Monday night. I think they're going to be better than people realize. Continuing kind of going through college hoops on Monday night. Tell you what, we're going to save Tennessee for the end because I don't want to spoil too much, but may have Tennessee advancing pretty far in my NCAA tournament as we go on. A couple other teams that stood out, Duke took care of business. We'll talk about Duke a little bit later as well. If I had to pick a team that I thought was a little bit disappointing, I'll be honest, it was probably the North Carolina Tar Heels. Now, they beat Radford 86-70, okay? But remember, North Carolina a year ago started the season ranked number 1 in the country, missed the NCAA tournament altogether. So why do I bring it up? Well, they beat Radford, but the final score is 86-70. It was 41-40. Radford led at halftime. And so for a program that coming off last year, all offseason, they've tried to spin it. It was Caleb Love. Caleb Love was the problem. We're going to get this thing fixed. To give up 41 first half points, to give up 70 points, and to have to pull away late against Radford, I'm a little worried about that, and I'm a little bit disappointed. So they get the win. The good news is they have plenty of time to figure things out, but the schedule does get tougher here in a little bit. They obviously play, they play Tennessee in the the ACC SEC Challenge. They go to the Battle for Atlantis, where there's a bunch of good teams, Arkansas, Memphis, etc. So North Carolina has to get it figured out. I really like them coming into the year, but I'm a little bit disappointed in the effort. I'll say this, another team that was impressive, not surprising, credit where it's due, the Kansas Jayhawks, man. Listen, Bill Self is a beast, dude, and people like him, people hate him. Did he get away with some stuff during that FBI investigation? Yeah, probably. But they beat North Carolina Central 99-56, just destroyed them. Hunter Dickinson, the transfer, 21-8, 5 assists and 2 blocks. Kevin McCullough, I thought looked really good. That's what stands out to me about Kansas. It's not just Hunter Dickinson. They have 2 really good kind of hybrid guards in McCullough and in Elmarco Jackson, a true freshman. That to me is where where they create problems defensively, perimeter. Kevin McCullough to me is the X factor for him. If he is really good, he's the type of kid that could play at an All-American type level. If he does, that is a team that could be very dangerous. One other team that really stuck out. Now, I'll be honest, their game is still going on as I'm recording here. I really like Arizona this year. I really like Arizona. They are destroying Morgan State right now. Now, look, something could happen. And if you're an Arizona fan and you hear this on Tuesday morning, Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday night, and they lose or something weird happens, blame your boy Torres. But the thing that stands out about them, much more athletic than a year ago. Remember, that's where Caleb Love is, Jaden Bradley, the transfer from Alabama. But the other thing, they're huge. So we knew about Umar Bal, okay? Keyshawn Johnson, everybody knows I love Keyshawn Johnson. He is a bully in the paint. And they have this kid, Crevis, a big kid from overseas. I was watching the first half. This kid's a monster, 7'2" passer, I don't want to say handles the ball, but he was the kid I didn't know much about. He is a big, big, big kid. They go to play at Duke on Friday night. You talk about the marquee game of the opening week of college basketball, Arizona at Duke Friday night. Watch out for that. Duke putting the finishing touches on a win over Dartmouth. 74-44 is the final. Kyle Filipowski, not surprisingly, 25-7. By the way, that's not final. It's about 4 minutes left in this game. Kyle Filipowski, 25 plus points in this game. Trying to think about anything else that I noticed throughout the evening. Purdue took care of business. Purdue, we know what Purdue's all about, right? We know what Purdue's all about. Arkansas looked really good. I watched a lot of their game. The thing with Arkansas that I think is really important, it is, first of all, athleticism is through the roof as always. Defense is through the roof as always. But the thing that stood out on opening night, they shot the ball from three pretty well. 12 of 30 from three. That's going to be the difference, right? Everybody, Arkansas, wants to know, like, this team has been on the doorstep of a Final Four 3 straight years. 3 straight years they have lost on the second weekend of the NCAA tournament. Can you get that 3-point shooting this year? So far, so good. As I said, they make 12 of 30 from three. A bunch of different guys hit, including Caleb Battle had a very nice game, 21 points off the bench. Trevin Brazil. But the thing that stands out, the length, the defense that Arkansas is always known for.